Welcome to Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. This podcast delivers insights on what makes businesses, teams, and people successful based on real-life business experiences. Following a career with America's largest associations, JP Murray founded the Murray Company, one of Washington, D.C.'s most successful consulting firms. The company was acquired successfully and enabled him to launch JP Murray Racing, a business development and sponsorship agency for auto racing teams. Here is JP.
Hey, welcome everybody. Today's podcast is about the conversation you have with yourself. Yeah, that's right, talking to yourself, man, and the American dream. The summer of my 13th birthday changed my life forever. I was working at my dad's shop on Main Street in Hennessy, Oklahoma, the original Murray Company. I was mainly sweeping the floor, and that was an everyday job because we were located under a grain elevator, which caused about 30 pounds of dust to end up on the floor just about every day. Well, that's what it seemed like. So during my lunch, I would walk down Main Street to the library. It was a dusty, musty old place at that time, but a great place and a great way to get out of the 100-degree temperatures that are common in Oklahoma during the summer. I read 2 books that changed my life. One was by Bud Wilkinson about the fundamentals of football. I had never played organized football in my life up to that point, and I didn't want to be behind everyone else. And if you can't play football in Oklahoma, of course, that's pretty darn embarrassing. Or worse, if you don't know how to. That's even more of a fundamental flaw. So I didn't want to take that risk as a 13-year-old. So I read that book. The other was See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. There were 35 affirmations, I believe, in that book. And they are, even now, quite readily online, and I would encourage you to read them. But here are a few that resonate with me even today as I revisited them. I'm a person of integrity with a good attitude and specific goals. I have a high energy level. I am tough but sensitive. I have a passion for what is right. I am disciplined, motivated, and humble. And there are, like I said, 35 of those. The key here is I learned positive self-conversation for the last 5 decades, and I continually reinforce it. My wife, Diane, and I laugh because I rarely read nonfiction because I've been pumping my head full of Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Earl Nightingale, Dale Carnegie over and over again, and that helps me keep a positive conversation in my self-talk and helps me develop an action plan to back it up. And that action plan began a self-conversation that began a lifelong endeavor for my version of the American dream. The American dream that you can live. And I believe you can. Absolutely. But something to consider. Sometimes the American dream has lots of accepted biases to it. A family of 4, your own house, a white picket fence, apple pie, Chevrolet, fireworks on the 4th of July, and monetary success. But much later in life, in fact, much too later, I discovered that the widely accepted measuring stick of the American dream was someone else's, not customized for me. The danger of this is that we have a legacy acceptance that everybody should believe in. The flaw is that it's someone else's dream, not yours. So I'm encouraging you to structure your own American dream, not another person's. The first part of this is going through and identifying what your version of the American dream is. Not mom and dad's, not your partner, not your staff, not the rest of the world. And then envision that dream in your mind and make it part of your daily affirmations. And then get happy with the progress that you're making on that American dream. And oh, by the way, that requires action. So if you do this, you have the conversations, you envision your dream, and then you start to act on it on a daily basis, my guess is you will make significant progress in making your version of the American dream a reality. Or it was a heck of a ride trying to get there. I wish you the very best. Thanks for listening, and I cannot wait to chat with you next week on the Push to Pass podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. If you would like to sponsor Push to Pass, send an email to jp@jpmurray.com. Follow JP on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. His website is jpmurray.com. Until next time, push yourself to pass the competition. Thanks for listening.